Right, let's do this. Habits of the successful. People say to me all the time, what's the habits? What do you do each day to actually win and get the results that you want? Because habits make the man. Habits make the goal happen, get you the results. It's the daily habits, it's the tedious, it's the stuff you do over and over again that gets you to the next level of the game for you and moves you along the board of the game like chess pieces, because this is all just a game. Business, life, it's all just a game. In my view, you're just playing the game. So how do you play the game the best? It's by having the best habits that give you the best chances of winning. Now, habit number one is having a clear goal in mind. Like, what is the goal? Like, everyone who wins in life, they've got a clear goal. They know exactly what they're aiming for. So they've got a clear vision of that. So they know exactly what they're going after. It's no good being like, oh, maybe I'd like to do a bit of this or a bit of that, or maybe one day this or that. There is a clear defined goal. Like, what the fuck are you actually aiming for? Like, that's what you need to have. Like, it's always got to be, right, I am going for that. End of. That's the goal. That is where we're going. And I will not stop until I get to that clear goal. That is the habit number one of getting into a position of going, right, what are my goals? What are they? What is it in business? What it is in a personal life? And, what are the things you really want to achieve? Get crystal clear on that first. And then number two, the habit to have is breaking down the goal. We're going, well, how do you actually get there? Because sometimes with bigger goals, it's like, well, how do you actually tackle that? And it's the habit of just breaking it down. Okay, in order to do that, I need to do X, Y, and Z along the way to hit the bigger goal. The ability to break the goal down. Like, for example, if you want to lose 2 stone in weight, 30 pounds, let's say, pound a week, it's 30 weeks of work. Simple as that. Growing £1 million a year business, it's no different. 80 grand of work a month, you've got to invoice. How do you get there? How many quotes do you need to do a month in order to win the 80 grand? What team do you need to build in order to deliver the 80 grand? All that stuff, you've got to be able to break it down, whatever the goal is for you. It's that habit of breaking it down into steps and then taking the action to move those steps forward. And number 3 is all about routine. For me, when I'm in a routine, I'm in a flow, I work at my best, I perform at my best, and then conversely, at the same time, I get the better results in work, I get the better results in the gym, I get better results in life, I'm happier. And it's the same stuff. If I look at every person that I know who's really successful, built some really good wealth and got some good money behind them, there's a routine at some stage in their life and the stuff that they keep doing over and over again as part of their routine. Now, the thing is, like, routine is like, well, what works? And I'll tell you what works for me. Getting up early, but that starts the night before. It's going to bed at a decent time. I'm generally in bed by 9 o'clock at night. I don't really care. I need to be up and set. I'm up at 5 o'clock, espresso, water in, down the gym, working out. I'm out of there by 6:30. I'm way ahead of everyone else. I am set up for the day. That is what works for me. That doesn't mean that's the only routine that you should follow, but for me, that is an absolute game changer. I'm then ahead, I'm straight into work mode, and my routine is the very first thing in the morning, I'm doing the stuff that brings money in. That is my routine. I'm focused purely on what brings money in. That's the most critical task in a business, and that can be marketing, sales, or getting costs back to clients so you win jobs for you. But I like to focus on that first, and then in the afternoon I focus on problems, getting things better, learning information, all that type of stuff in the back end of the day. That's what works for me, but I follow that routine religiously, without fail, whether I'm on holiday or not, whatever the day of the week is. That's the routine that works for me. Number 4, successful people are committed to what you would call personal development or growth or improvement. And like just little bits, 1% a day improvement every day is a lot over a year, over a decade. You're always looking for more, better, and improvement. Like, I think a lot of people go, oh, whatever weaknesses you've got, ignore them and focus on your strengths. But I completely disagree. I think your weaknesses will weigh you down like a fucking anchor on a ship. If you're weak in one area and it's bringing down all your strengths, are your strengths actually any good? I don't think so. I think you've got to be willing to unpack your faults, your shortcomings and be committed to actually personal development, getting better yourself, and actually growing over time. Because if you don't improve every year, you're just stagnant and you're actually just dying, you're getting worse. So the habit of rich, successful people, whatever you want to label it, is always committed to improvement, constantly better. Then number 5, it's all about being physically fit. You cannot tackle everything in life to your best ability without having some form of physical fitness. And that doesn't mean being like the biggest guy on the beach or the most ripped guy on the beach. It means being physically fit. Like, and this is not just for business. It's because successful as well is your life, it's your kids, it's your marriage, it's your friendships. If you're the guy that can't play sports or you can't do anything, you haven't got the puff to walk up the stairs, how can you be your best? It's impossible. It is impossible. And if you look at the most successful people, they're all working out in some form or some shape. They're taking respect for themselves. And for me, the physical side of stuff, working out, actually then helps the mental side of stuff, because it's an hour of clearing your head, focusing on the task at hand. It allows you to gather your thoughts. You're in a better mental place. Physical fitness is a part of it. You've got to have a certain level of physical fitness that's good for you. Then number 6, it's the habit and the trait of being a control freak and actually wanting things done now. Like, everything needs to be done now. Like a sense of urgency, because having a laxy-daisy, like, oh, we'll do that tomorrow, or we'll do that later, or oh, I can't be bothered with that now. That is not a successful habit to have. The habit of having, like, let's tackle it now, let's do it now, let's get it done now. Have you done that? Just checking, have you done that? Is it done? Because if it's not done, it's not done, and it's just sitting there festering away. Sometimes problems actually get bigger the longer you leave them. It's being a control freak of going, right, is that done? Are we good here? Is that taken care of? Because then you know, and then you can move on and you keep pushing forward. Like, you've got to be a control freak, especially at the beginning of a business. You're trying to grow something. You've got to control it and really push it forward and drive it forward. It's no good having the Spanish attitude of, let's have a siesta and let's chill out for a couple of hours. That is totally the wrong way to go. Then number 7, we do not tolerate negativity or excuses. We do not let it into our lives whatsoever. We're not fucking interested. We don't care if you had a shit day yesterday. We don't care if something's gone wrong for you. We don't care if you're moaning. We don't care if your TV program's been cancelled or some bullshit that's trivial and doesn't actually matter to fuck all. Not interested in negativity at all. Like, for me, my brain actually turns off. If someone starts chatting shit or moaning, my brain just goes, oh, I'm off. Get me the fuck out of here right now. Because there's no room for it. Like, there is no room for it whatsoever. If you're a hungry, driven person and you want to be the rich and successful or whatever, you just haven't got time for that stuff. Like, it's not acceptable to tolerate that or allow it in. Negativity only breeds more negativity. It's a fact. And, moaning, blaming, excuses, where does that really get you? Nowhere. Absolutely nowhere. Got to tackle the problem head on and ignore it and move forward. Which does bring me into number 8. It is that tackling things head on. It's being aware that, right, there's a problem. Let's unpack that shit right now and fucking tackle it now. Like, it is not knowing there's a problem and going, I'll deal with that later. I'll put it off. Problems need to be resolved now. You have to tackle them head on. Even when it's shit that you don't want to confront. It could be an awkward conversation. It could be a dismissal. It could be something that you just don't really want to do. But look, the longer you leave stuff, a small problem can become a massive problem if you do not tackle it. And it's a real common thing because it's difficult. It is difficult. But look, success, winning is not easy. So this is part of the game. So the habit needs to be that if something's not quite right, or you're not quite happy with it, or something needs to be said, a conversation needs to be had, that conversation needs to be had. And we've got to tackle things head on, get in front of it, and then you can move on. Then number 9 is being emotionally detached. Like, not being so vulnerable or reactive to stuff, because when things go right, it's easy to be, oh, let's all party and let's all relax and let's take our eye off the ball. But equally, when things are going wrong, You cannot be in a place of negativity, what I said earlier for a previous point, or moaning about it or blaming about it. You have to be detached from it and be a bit cold. And normal day-to-day people won't understand that at all, because normal, most average people, they just want to be like, oh, rub your belly, oh, you tried your best, or oh, well, what if this happens, and then what if that happens? You have to remove yourself from it, because if you're a high achiever and you're trying to be an even higher achiever and win, you're going to have to go through the highs, but also go through a lot of the lows along the way. And being emotionally detached is the only way that's going to get you through that journey. And that is exactly why most people give up. It's exactly why most people start a business, 2 years later it's folded, because they haven't got the emotional discipline and control and all these habits that I'm talking about to push through and make it happen. Because if you're emotionally reactive, and that can be anger, rage, tears, upset, guilt, whatever it is for you, or maybe things you've dealt with in the past and now you've got through and you've improved on them, they're the things that are really actually going to fuck you up. So you have to be emotionally detached. And then number 10, the final one, is do not look for balance. There is no balance. Balance is a bullshit myth. It's a bullshit thing of people who really, quite frankly, are just employees. Employees look for balance. Like, people want balance are the people that want to work 9 to 5 and have the balance of family life and everything like that. You've got to look at it as this is what I do and that's how it is. You will not have balance. It's a fallacy. It's a fake bit of shit that can lead you to feel that you're not doing things right. But look, the way I look at it is I'm only ever doing one or three things. I'm either working out, or learning. I haven't got any other time for anything else. And I don't care what overlaps into the other, because I'm just going over and I'm going after point one that I said on this video. I'm going after my goals. I know the steps I've got to hit. So why would you want balance if your goal's that important? Because if you want balance and you want shut off and you want to watch shit on TV, the goal isn't really what you're after. If that goal is really what you want, you're not looking for balance. You're looking for, how the fuck do I get there as quick as possible? So that is my 10 habits, if you like, that I think are key to being a successful person and actually winning in business. If you like this video, like and comment below, and also subscribe as well. I do this for free. The only thing I ask is that if you do like it, you want to see more of it, subscribe, get the notifications, and then you'll be the first to know when the next video is out. I'll see you on the next one.